Hey, it's Terry Gorry, and this is the Irish Law and Small Business podcast. One of the questions I'm regularly asked by young people, especially somebody who's buying their property for the first time or buying a property for the first time, is about the money. When do they make the payments, and so on and so forth. So when you go sale agreed with a property, be it a new or a second hand, you're going to pay a booking deposit. And the booking deposit would be typically 5 grand. Anything between 2,500 and 10,000, depending on the value of the house. But typically around about 5,000. That's the booking deposit. It's fully refundable. Once the booking deposit is paid, then the vendor solicitor will issue contracts to your solicitor, the purchaser's solicitor, and your solicitor then will review the contracts, review the title documents, and assuming that you've got finance arranged, will then get you in within perhaps fortnight or 3 weeks, depending on how quickly you get finance arranged, and get you in then to sign the contracts and sign the contract and the loan documents rather. So at that point then you must pay the contract deposit, and the contract deposit is 10% of the purchase price. But you can take off the contract deposit, the booking deposit that you've paid. So just to give you a simple example, let's say you're buying a house for 300,000. The contract deposit then is going to be 10% of that, and 10% of 300,000 obviously is 30 grand. And you take off 5 grand that you paid as a booking deposit. So you're going to pay 25 grand then with the contract. That's what's expected in relation to the second hand property. Then you will eventually move towards completion, and your solicitor and the other solicitor will prepare for that, and obviously you'll have to ensure that everything is in place to draw down your loan offer, your loan funds. And when there is a closing date then and the property transaction is ready to complete, that will be the point at which you will have to pay the balance of the purchase price, stamp duty, your solicitor's fees, property registration authority fees, miscellaneous fees, for legal searches, for commissioner for oaths, and that's really all of it. But you only need to do that on completion, for completion. And obviously the loan that you're getting will be drawn down then by your solicitor with a view to completing. And typically completion will take place 4 to 5 weeks after there's binding contracts in place. So typically 4, 5, 6 weeks after you have signed contracts, and you'll probably sign contracts 2 weeks perhaps after you've gone sale agreed. That's the sort of time scale you're looking at for a second-hand property, and that's the sort of pattern or schedule of payments that you're going to make. So ranging from, as I say, in the first instance, a booking deposit, to eventually paying the entire balance of the purchase funds for the property, having drawn down the money from the bank, and obviously you're going to put your solicitor in funds for the various fees that I've set out, the professional indemnity or the professional legal fee, stamp duty, PRA fees and so on. With the new property it's slightly different. Not much different, but it's slightly different. With a new property you're going to pay a booking deposit. Then when it comes to paying the contract deposit, it may be possible to, if you are getting the Help to Buy grant or aid or subsidy or whatever you call it, if you're getting that, then it may be possible to actually use that as part of your deposit. So it may well be the case that if there's 30 grand due or 35 grand due with the contract, on signing the contract as a contract deposit, it's possible that up to 30 grand of it can be taken care of by the Help to Buy amount if you're eligible for that much. That's the maximum, I think. So most builders will allow you to use the Help to Buy amount to pay the contract deposit So at the outset you'll be paying bank or booking deposit of 5 grand or 10 grand or whatever, and then the balance can come from your Help to Buy grant, and then you're going to need all the other money, your loan and your stamp duty, your professional legal fee, your property registration authority fees, and the other outlays, legal searches, Commissioner for Oaths, miscellaneous, and so on for completion. But clearly completion with a new house is going to take place probably much later than with a second hand, because the likelihood is that the new house may be in the course of construction, and depending then at what point you actually purchase the property or enter into the bargain, as it were, to purchase the property, and depending on what stage it is in terms of the construction phase and the construction schedule, the new property may not complete, the purchase may not complete until, there's a word there, oh, there's 2 words behind me there, you might see them. The new property may not be ready for completion for 6 months, 9 months or whatever. So that's the time schedule there. Now you could buy a new property that's practically finished and practically ready to go. If that's the case, then the time schedule is going to resemble more closely the time schedule for a second hand. But by and large, when you're buying a new property, you're looking at entering into an arrangement whereby you might be paying a booking deposit, you might be paying a contract deposit, and then you could be waiting 6 months, 9 months, indeed 12 months for completion of the property, for completion of construction. Anyway, hope you find this video useful. Thanks a lot for listening, and don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss an episode. And I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a review on Apple's iTunes. It gives great encouragement and lets me know that I'm on the right track. Thanks a lot.